What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to YGOPD, your Yu-Gi-Oh! Professional Development. And today I'm coming at you with a wrap-up from the Columbus Regional yesterday at the time of recording. Had the chance to pilot exactly what I promised in the community post. I ran Evil Eye, Unchained, Horus. I think this deck was super fun. It's super based. I think there's a lot of exploring to do. Overall record was not that great. You'll see the breakdown on screen here. I went 5-4. There were a few losses that were my fault that really just kind of, changed things. And I was also really learning the deck still. I wasn't fully comfortable with it yet. So, but overall, I think it's really an insane concept that needs to be explored. I want to show it. People were really impressed all day. I was kind of happy as I did. I was really expecting to do like O2 drop, but I stuck with it and I was X3 up until the very last round. And then I just lost to Super Poly both games, which was kind of unfortunate, but yeah, I'll spend some time talking a little bit about matchups and things like that, and then I'll go ahead and showcase the deck, and then I'll showcase the combo of just how the deck works. So we'll go ahead and hop on into it. Okay, quick breakdown of the matchups. 9 rounds today. I wanted to play out the whole event just to get as much familiarity with the deck as possible. This felt like a really good litmus test to see if the deck was feasible, and I do think it is. Round 1 was Runic Stun. Shout out to my man Khalil. He was the guy I played at the 3v3 last week on Rescue Ace. It was my only draw. I was undefeated through the rest of that 3v3 event, and unfortunately was on Runic Stun, and the odds of out of 418 people I play a teammate borrowing the exact same deck is ridiculous, but I think he piloted it maybe even a little bit better and ended up using Munin in time, of course, against the deck that pays a lot of life points to play. Was very unfortunate, tried to play at a quick pace, but just was something that I don't think could have been helped too well. Round 2 was Rika. That was 100% my fault going into the second game. I took out all of my board breakers. I had a few board breakers and stuff like that in for the main deck because there's less non-engine space, and I put those right back in on accident when I was going first in game 2. And so I had like multiple Dark Ruler and just unusable cards in my hand and just didn't have a combo piece, and it was just unfortunate. But the cool thing about this deck was, like, for most outside of those kinds of things, like when I won, it was insanely decisive, 2-0 no matter what, like every time. So round 3 was Unchained, felt really good. That was the deck I was most nervous about playing with this deck. It was like just that and tier, because it just, a lot of the interruptions are pops and it gets benefit, but it was really cool to outgrind Unchained with Evil Eye Unchained. Felt really good about that. 2-0 there. Round 4 was Vanquish Soul. That was the first time I just hard bricked the whole day. In round 3, I just opened a bunch of one-ups that I just didn't really want to see and didn't have a starter. So it was really cool to not see the deck have that only happen once. So I was okay with that. And then round 5, another Vanquish Soul 2-0. Round 6, Sword Soul 2-0. Round 7, Branded Bestial 2-0. Round 8, Runic Bestial 2-0. And then sorry about that. You're going to see maybe a couple cuts here and there. For some reason, the live view on my camera is timing out, even though my custom settings are as long as possible. But round 9 was Branded Chimera. At least I'm assuming it was Branded Chimera or just pure Chimera, but didn't see Branded Fusion. That was 1-2. It was very unfortunate just because I thought I was going to win game 3. I was going second, had double Spellbound in hand plus full combo, and like just other interrupts and stuff. And he only had the Chimera Fusion and just one blank. Everything else I knew. And I assumed he just had double Chimera Fusion, but it was Super Poly and you can't Spellbound that. So that was unfortunate, and that just kind of wiped my board, and then he just cleaned it up from there. But overall, was an insanely fun day. Really enjoyed playing the deck. Felt really powerful. The ceiling was extremely high. Like I said, every game I won, it was very, very decisive. Whether it was the middle of a match I lost or when I 2-0'd someone, it just felt really clean. And a lot of people were saying cool things around the day, so I really appreciate people that just kind of like the concept. And a big shout out to all my testing group, Grant, Sonny, Luis, Julius, Cody, all of you guys really kind of helped me flesh this out early on. I've really only been playing this for maybe a week leading up to the event, and so even then, maybe just like 3 or 4 days worth of testing. So it just came together really, really well in that short amount of time. And I think it's worth exploring. So, yeah. And also, shout out to Sonny. Like, half the matches I won, he lent me a Gossip Shadow. I just couldn't find one, and that card just cooked all day. So that was super good. But, yeah, I'll showcase the deck, and then I'll talk a little bit about the combo of how the deck works. So for the main deck here, we have, I'll make sure to try to get everything aligned as best as I can. We're going to have 3 Surzeal. This is, you have a bunch of starters in this deck. I'm going to showcase the Evil Eye just package as a whole, and then I'll talk about the starters. So all the starters pretty much do the same thing. It's going to get you Surzeal with an equip, so a quick effect pop, plus the Unchained Dog to link into SP, so that's a steal, plus a banish with SP, plus a second banish with SP, plus the trap that is going to pop for Unchained and Surzeal. So it's all 5 interruptions. So it's really, really powerful off of 1 card, and it's incredibly consistent. So 3 Surzeals, one of the best starters in the deck. It's also the only normal summon you do, so you don't have to worry about conflicts with that. And then 3 Basil Trice. This is the best extender of the deck. You don't have to play 3. The 3s are probably the biggest area where you can adjust ratios, but this essentially is a quick effect special from hand or grave if you have an Evil Eye monster at any point. And then during your opponent's turn, you can quick effect link into an Evil Eye using Evil Eye, just using monsters you control, as well as Evil Eye equip spells. So you could use an Evil Eye equip spell as a material. So you typically go, I found myself going into the 3 more than the 2. The link 2 is a monster negate with the equip, and the link 3 is a pop with a monster negate. And then you can also use these for other cool rank 3 plays that I'll get into later. And then the last little rank 3s is 1 Catoblepis and 1 of the Basilius. I think one of these is fine. I might consider bumping 2 and 2, but this one, the main one that you play at 3, Basil Trice, comes from hand or grave. This can only special itself from grave if you have an Evil Eye, and these both are activated effects. And then Basilius can special from hand if you have an Evil Eye monster, but is an inherent summon. It's not an actually activated effect. The bonus effects of each of these, this one can target an Evil Eye spell on your field and protect it through the end of the next turn without being destroyed by card effects. So it helps you keep your Selene on board. And then this just dumps an Evil Eye spell or trap from your deck to your grave, which helps to get unleashed in the grave. So you can just kind of link on your opponent's turn and keep playing because you need that in grave for part of the combo. But you don't have to have it for the main one. It just helps to have the extra names there. And then 3 of the field spell, this is another starter. Essentially, any way to Surzeal or Unleashed is going to be a starter. So there's a total of 10 starters in here. It's going to be 3 of the Surzeal, 3 of this, 3 of the normal spell Unleashed, plus a Terraforming, at least for the combo, right? This just adds an Evil Eye monster on activation. And then if it gets popped, you can add an Evil Eye monster back from your grave to your hand. So not bad. And then Evil Eye Unleashed, probably the best card in the deck and probably one of the most broken cards ever printed. Dumps an Evil Eye monster and an Evil Eye spell trap from deck to grave as cost, which is insane. And then if it resolves, you add an Evil Eye equip from your deck to your hand. And the coolest thing about this was never getting ashed, because I would just say, hey, it dumps for cost. They're like, oh, you already dumped 2 for cost? Like, whatever, then my ash is already wasted because you got what you wanted. Just take the equip spell, which was really convenient. So it was really, very helpful. And then the secondary effect of this is if you link summon an Evil Eye monster, you can banish this to equip an Evil Eye equip to it. So on your opponent's turn, when you link summon like the 2 for a negate or a 3 for a pop, that's how you get Selene back onto it, is you use this effect in grave. And then I said Unleashed was the best card in the deck, but I'm probably lying. It's this. Dude, this card is so good, and it just doesn't do like a whole lot on the surface. You activate it and you're locked into Fiends for the rest of the turn, and it does one of 2 things. It gives you a single Evil Eye token that is a Fiend if you have no equip on board, but if you have the equip, it gives you 2. The whole reason I wanted to play this deck was this card, because the Unchained Soul Yama says 2 Fiends. And that's it. They don't have to be effect monsters. They don't have to be Unchained monsters. It doesn't have to include an Unchained Soul monster. So part of your combo is you're getting Surzeal set up and you're searching this. You get 2 tokens and you just make a free Yama and you just go crazy. And the Unchained stuff just extends this deck's ceiling by so much, because you can just, even in awkward hands where it's like, oh, I can't really play, I just have 2 evil names, you just do full Unchained combo, like with dog plus trap. And it's just like that alone is already 4 interruptions, because you take something, banish SP on summon, regular SP banish, plus the trap. Like it's just nuts. So this card is insane, and you like play all Fiends, so the lock just doesn't even matter. This deck just takes that to a whole new level. And then the last couple of Evil Eye cards here. One Awakening, I think this is necessary. I've been back and forth on cutting this, and I'm really glad I kept it. It's just a really great one of, and if you already open like a mixture of cards where you feel like you don't need to search any major combo pieces because you have the starters and the one extender that you want, or you just want something different, it's this. Without the equip, it's a Monster Reborn. With the equip, it's an E-Telly. So kind of like Marincess Dive, but field spell. You get the idea. This just gives you an extra 3 in rotation, and what's really nice is if you summon one of the level 3s, like that can special back from grave, you have a way to pop it with the Sharvara, and then you can still bring it back later, so you don't have to lose the name, because the little level 3s that special summon themselves both banish themselves when they leave the field. So that's kind of the unfortunate thing, these two. But so it kind of saves your resources a little bit. But this was a really good card all day. I would not cut it. And then Terraforming, of course, just as the honorary 10th starter. And then the last 3 cards for the Evil Eye engine are 2 Gorg and 1 of the Selene. This ratio, I believe, is correct. You can see different things, but this is truly all you need, especially too when you saw I played 3 Runics today, which was awful. Runic Stun was mainly because of the floodgates, but this is the better of the 2 that to see first. Basically, when you use Unleashed, you're dumping one of the 2 level 3s and then this, and then adding this. This banishes from grave as cost, along with pitching an Evil Eye spell trap, or sorry, probably Evil Eye card if I remember correctly, as cost, and then it adds an Evil Eye spell trap from deck to hand. So you're typically adding this stuff Unleashed, banishing this, discarding this, and then searching something else, typically the token card, and then this can reset itself, so you're fine there. Just 2 of these because it's better to see the Searcher in your hand than Selene, because you can pitch this for other things like King Sark or whatever, Mseti, to just get it in the grave. So it's just better to have 2 of the Searcher and 1 of the regular one, and this can recycle itself. So yeah, I think you need 3 equips total no matter what, just in case. So overall, that was kind of how it worked. That's it for the Evil Eye package. It's a bit bigger, but I mean, most of the cards just do so much lifting on their own that it's fine. And then the non-engine, I didn't play hand traps. That was probably the riskiest thing of the day, but there just wasn't a lot of non-engine space. And my boy Sunny P and I just talked about this for a long time and just decided to lean on either board breakers or cards that just lift so much on their own that they're going to warrant baiting out a disruption at minimum, if not multiple. And so how we did that was we started with this 3 Dark Ruler. This was fine all day. I was originally playing Imperm and I just wanted something that did more, and Dark Ruler was great. I just turned off so many boards. Even into a 1-to-1, it's just a better trade for Imperm. And the other reason I kept it was it's still a card that if you go first, you can just set, pop with Sharvara, and then just keep your monsters. So Dark Ruler is really, really good. And then, of course, 3 Fenrir. This card just is insane. Just still a format warping card. And then 1 Called By and 2 Talents. These were also really, really good. I drew this like this was my job today. Shout out to Cody saying I did that all the time, and for some reason it just happened at the event. Really solid card. You could play 3 Talents, but I just wanted the diversity and just either hand ripping, drawing, extending. This plus Mseti is an FTK like people talk about. Like, it was just overall really, really good. And then 3 King Sark. I was on 2 and just decided to bump it up to 3. I cut one of the level 3s down to 2 or down to 1 to play a third one of these. I just, again, wanted more cards that did as much lifting on their own as possible, and I'd rather see a King Sark than just a level 3 that's by itself. So the Horus package was crazy all day. There were games where I just won by one of my branded matchups, just sitting on Mseti plus Cerziel and not summoning anything to trigger Regained or Grand Granol, and just kept poking and sending and poking and sending, and that was just a really good resource loop. But yeah, 3 Mseti, of course. You don't have to play this in the deck. If you're looking for a budget option, just pay the 20-ish bucks, get the couple Unchained main deck and extra deck cards, you'd be good to go. And then you could just play more hand traps instead. But this engine just puts it over the edge, and just you feel so much safer, and it just profits so much with the discards. It's so good. And then 1 of the Happy. Just 2 different names total, 3 Mseti and 1 Happy. Mainly this was for Photon Lord. I didn't make Zombie Vampire, I didn't play Zombie Vampire. The main reason is this deck is unfortunately normal summon reliant as part of the combo. So getting Cerziel, a card that only triggers on normal summon off Zombie Vampire, doesn't let you play, doesn't let you extend. So just these were fine for just either a rank 8, for IP, for SP, or just for bodies, like however you wanted to do it, but these were great. And then the last 2 cards rounding out at 40. 1 Sharvara, 1 Escape. This is all you need because these are all searchable throughout the combo. It's literally just Unchained with less bricks and just like more power cards that just do like way more, and you don't have to worry about 2-card combos. Like, it's just so good. So yeah, that's the main deck. clean 40 cards. Was really, really happy with it. I think some fine tuning could be done around maybe the non-engine, or maybe minimizing, like cutting a card or two from the Horus package, and maybe adding hand traps if you want to go that route. But I was just really happy with this as a proof of concept. It was so good. And then for the extra deck, so we have, for the Unchained stuff, 1 Bomb, 1 Anguish, 1 Rage, and 1 Yama, and that's it. That's all you need. I think in the long run, I probably would maybe get a second Yama, because this is just another Unchained soul name that you can get into with just fiends without having to have a soul. You could also play the Abominable, the level 8, that's like summon, discard, pop 1 non-targeting. I've thought about that, but this is fine. The combo, you typically make this, and then if you're going first and there's nothing on your opponent's board, you just make this. If you're going second, you typically make this, and then either link into the 3 or the 2, and it's just pretty much over from there. This also let me OTK, or actually FTK, one of my opponents. They just passed. I Gossip Shadowed their nib. I was able to make a bomb. I hard drew the Sharvara. I Sharvara popped the bomb, Yama bring back a bomb, and then just like had 5k already and just comboed and just did enough damage. So that's it for the Unchained stuff. Really solid. For the Evil Eyes, it's just 1 and 1. It's not really dependent on these, but they're still really good to have. Again, Monster Negate and a pop. The only time I made this was just when I needed extra damage. I never hard made this for the effect. I really just made this a lot. Low key, you could probably cut this or just play a second 3. But overall, they were fine. But I don't think I would have won if I didn't have this here, but I don't think it's needed. After that, for the other random kind of slots, 1 Unicorn, 1 IP. These cards I did not make all day either, but I thought they were good utility slots to keep in for mid-game. Unicorn I don't think I would cut, but you have room here. So you could play a second SP or different things like that. One of the cards I would consider playing another of is Muckraker. This was really good for most of the day. I was really, really happy with this. This card came in clutch a lot. You may not need it as a second one, but one of these is definitely mandatory. This just helps mid-game so much. And then 1 Little Knight, of course. This is typically what you go into on your opponent's turn with the Soul Rage, just because you're no longer fiend locked on their turn. But this deck, thankfully, only does need 1 of these. You could play 2 if you have more, but you only do need 1. And then the DDD stuff, funny, after the event, shout out to my boy Sunny again, we were talking. I didn't know this had an effect. Like, it just does stuff. Like, it goes into the battle phase, it inflicts 500, it destroys the attacking monster, it prevents itself from being killed by battle. So it's like, it does all these things that I'm just like, wow, I wish I used this more. But you have 2 level 3 fiends, so you can make this and then make this. This is the Snatch Steal guy up to twice per turn, because you detach 2, take 1, and then you still have 2 materials under it, so you could do it again. But this card was really clutch all day. It baited a lot of interruptions. It was just really, really solid. So that's it. And then 1 Photon Lord just for the Horus stuff. 1 Typhon. This is a fiend. Didn't know that till that came up, which was hilarious. Actually did not make this at all today. I probably should have a lot more, but it just ironically didn't come up enough, but I would definitely not cut it. Still a really good card. And then 1 Gossip Shadow. I actually made this like probably 3 to 4 of my games. They were just, it was insane. Like, this is what's like just saved my butt so much. If I didn't open the Horus stuff, I was able to just get like 2 3s on board, make this, they would nib, I detach 2, and then I could bring back one of the names from like Grave. That would be my spare pop for Sharvara, and I'd still have combo and be able to climb into stuff. So this card was insane. Thank you, Sunny, for letting me borrow this. This was not possible without you. It was insane. And then the side deck, we have side deck was clean. This was probably one of the best side decks I ever built for the event, and how it kind of played into this deck. I was only on 1 slot. This was kind of inspired by how I did last week at the 3v3 for Rescue Ace, and just kind of stuck with it and made a few changes, and it was just really good. MVPs. Spellbound, this was insane going first or second, just shut down so many things to where they couldn't play. Same thing with Book of Eclipse. This was mainly a going second card. I'd never sided this in going first because I didn't want to risk it, but a really great card to just bait out interruptions or fix awkward boards, especially against Chimera, right? Turning off both the Codal and the Mirror Sword Knight engraved so you can kind of make your plays. And then 3 Cosmic. This card was so good too, especially against Runic. It just came in so clutch. A couple, like 3 different matches with that, and just other decks too with the set, Chimera Fusions, like different things. But these were all great. Also because a lot of decks like were playing cross out or siding cross out, and these were just very uncommon targets. And so it just, was really free ways to play. And then 3 Solemn, I sided this in a lot throughout the day when I knew I was forced to go, where I was going to be able to go first. And the only time I saw it, it got hard cosmic. So I don't know about this card. Might be something else. It might be one of the Retribution, the Evil Eye Counter Trap, and 2 other slots. Or it might just be another hand trap, but not really sure because I just didn't have a chance to really see how it went. And then the last card is 3 Droll. It needed to be in here somewhere. Probably could have been in the main, but it was really, really good all day for the couple Runics I played. A lot of the decks just did enough searching where Droll was just enough. Higher impact cards, right, to slow things down. So that's the main, that's the extra, that's the side. That's Evil Eye Horus Unchained. I'll go ahead and reset my camera, and then I'll just showcase the combo. Okay, you're gonna see some trash in the setup here, like a leg of my webcam tripod, just because I'm still in the process of stuff. But just a disclaimer, whatever. I'll get it cleaned up at some point. But yeah, so I'm gonna showcase the combo. Like I said, you can start with either anything that is Unleashed or a way to Surzeal. So Surzeal, Terraforming, Unleashed, or the Field Spell. I'm just going to start with Surzeal to showcase the normal summon, but basically if you have the normal summon, you're getting this. If you don't have this, then you're getting this later because this is going to eventually get there. Maybe I'll just show it with Terraforming just to see, like, here's how it works without like just any Evil Eye stuff and how you bridge into it. Maybe that's a little bit easier. But so you'll start with Terraforming. I'll try to keep things as visible as possible. You get the Field Spell. You can activate the Field Spell. Field Spell will then search Surzeal. You'll normal the Surzeal. See if I can make things a little bit easier. I think I have a little more room than what I'm giving myself credit for. Normal Surzeal, search Unleashed. You'll activate Unleashed. It dumps 2 as cost and then adds 1. Typically, you're just dumping 1 of the level 3s that can summon from grave. It doesn't matter, but my default is to Catoblepis that I'll get into later. And then you dump a Gorg, and then you add the Selene from your deck to your hand. The thing you have to note is that this deck does pay a lot of life. After the rest of the turn, after this card resolves, you take 500 for every non-Evil Eye card you activate. So you're going to do that. And then from here, what you can do is banish the Gorg from your grave and send Selene that you added as cost to add an Evil Eye spell trap from your deck to your hand. So what you're going to do is you're going to get the Reemergence. This is the token one. And then you'll pay 1,000 for Selene, set Selene, activate, equip Selene to the Surzeal. So right now you just have 1 pop. And then from there, what you can go ahead and do is activate the Reemergence. Because you have the equip, you get 2 tokens that are both Fiends to the field. My tokens are over here. So they just go here. And then you just link both of these off. And that's what gets you Yama, which is just insane that it just says 2 Fiends. It's so wild. It's so good. And so then you're going to do Yama effect to search. You're going to take 500 here, of course. Get Sharvara to your hand. And then you can go ahead and then special summon back the Catoblepis from your grave, and then you can activate Catoblepis here. What that's going to allow you to do is protect the Selene from being destroyed until the end of the next turn. So this helps play around Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, things like that, because the Selene, while it's equipped to Surzeal, it can't be targeted, it can't be destroyed by battle, and it can't be destroyed by card effects. It just makes it a towers, and then you protecting this is also really good. So from there, you go ahead and use Sharvara, pay another 500, pop this, summon the Sharvara, and then you can link these 2 off. Put these in grave. And then you're going to make Dog. And you're going to pay a third 500, so 15 total here, I believe, so far, for the non-Evil Eye stuff, right? And then Sharvara is going to let you set Escape from your deck to the field, so you go ahead and grab that. And that's the basic combo. And then you still have, 4 cards in hand. That could have been like MSETI, other level 3 extenders to end on the DDD, anything like that. Make sure those are visible, yeah. So you just have a lot of ways to play. So the basic way of how this looks in terms of interrupts, right, is there's a few things here. The first is you're typically using escape first, or they're going to pop your stuff and you're going to bring it back. But escape is going to be one interruption. So I'm just going to set this up here, right in the... We'll do right here. You're going to pop the dog, right? And then you can just banish Yama, bring back the dog. And then the dog can also add a fiend. I believe it's a fiend. There's one thing that just adds a fiend and not an Unchained. Yeah, the dog targets any fiend. So if you have another Evil Eye card or something you want for follow-up, you can do that. So one interrupt there. The dog is a second interrupt because you're linking off with one of their special summon monsters. And then you get SP. SP on summon is going to banish a card they control, so that's a second interruption, plus SP's regular effect to banish, so that's 3 and 4. I'll put a token there as a blank, just so you know that's 4. And then Surzeal is obviously the 5th interruption. That's just a pop. Again, not counting the 4 cards you have in hand. So this deck was insane. I had so much fun with it. I'm going to keep playing it. I really want to re-explore it more, but I hope you like this concept and it was different. I'm probably going to start really grinding for the season. And like when I get my invites, maybe do more of this where I just kind of have you guys vote on a deck that maybe you want to see played and profiled. But I really enjoyed this. I'm going to explore it a lot more. I think maybe Sunny will probably feature this and we'll talk a little bit about it because I want to talk about this with someone who's actually play tested it with me too, because they have a lot of insights about it as well. But yeah, that's it for the deck. That was the regional for Ohio. It was really cool to see everyone, to hang out. But with all that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.